Hi dear students. Now my purpose of today's video is to answer a question that a lot of second prof, first prof students have been asking me ever since they have seen the proposal about how the next will be conducted. Now what I will tell you today is that what should you be doing in second prof or in first year, and what is DAMS planning now for second year students, and how we are modulating our course for second year students. The course that we conduct for our second year students is called as pre-foundation. Okay, and the course that we conduct for first year students is called as first step. Now why and how we are modulating the course for this prof, and I'll give you an idea which is what we actually specialize in. We specialize in making a strategy. As soon as we see the marks distribution of a paper, we are able to visualize the strategy which will work out the best for you. Let me show you the proposed structure for the exam right now. So this is how the proposed pattern for next one is. This paper will have 3 separate papers on 3 days. Day 1 will be medicine and allied, 3 hours, 120 questions, pediatrics 60 questions. Day 2 will be surgery and allied, 120, ENT 60 questions, post lunch session, obs and gynae and allied 120, ophthalmology 60. Now what do we mean by allied here? Allied means things like skin, anesthesia, radiology, psychiatry, orthopedics. They will fall into the allied categories. And immediately you will ask me, sir, what about basic sciences? In every paper, 10% of the questions will be based on basic sciences or applied aspects of basic sciences, which will actually become the rank determiners. I'm sure you will be able to see that most people, when they look at it, they will miss out on basic sciences and the toppers will make it strong, and basic sciences will become the rank determiners. What about PSM? 10% of the questions in each paper will be based on preventive and public health. So that means PSM also plays a good chunk of questions in this paper. So if I now put it in a nutshell, this paper is going to have 540 questions. Okay, 540 questions with around 54 questions from basic sciences. The questions will be more than this because there will be questions on infectious diseases, drugs, on hematological malignancies, solid neoplasms, so syndromes. There are the possibility that basic sciences will get a more representation than this. So what should we be doing at this point? To understand what should you be doing, you need to know the proposed question pattern. This exam is not going to be a factual recall based paper any longer. This exam is proposed to be 60% questions based on problem solving. When they say problem solving, they mean clinical vignette style of questions. 30% questions will require comprehension, analysis, and only 10% questions will be purely recall based. This is the proposed pattern. So that means when you are studying with us in the second prof right now, your goal has to be understanding and how to apply that understanding into a clinical scenario. Please be away from all the old pattern guidebooks and all the old pattern study material where they will talk about most common cause of this is least common cause of this. Let's not go towards the older papers and older 10-year papers that you are used to looking at. We are now going to look at more towards concepts, understanding, and we will try more and more to apply what we know into clinical scenarios. And how do we propose to change for second prof, and how the exam would actually change? Now I want you to look at this question. This is a pure one-liner, median nerve supplies. You have 4 choices, you have to pick up your answer here. On the other hand, when they go to the applied anatomy, you will have a question starting with a patient, 34-year-old male college athlete, has a history of this and torn structure implicated by this. So you have to actually look at the clinical scenario, apply your basic sciences, and get to the answer here. So this requires more comprehension, more analysis. It's no longer the one-liner kind of paper that we are all used to in the routine exams. But I'm sure many of you would have heard of it. NEET PG 2020 already had such kind of questions. NEET PG 2021 is also likely to be more in the clinical pattern. So if you are a second prof student, first prof student already, you are now looking at more application based questions, not only one-liners. So what we have changed this year in our second prof classes is, this year what we are now doing is, we are teaching you the applied aspect of all these 7 subjects. which will at least contribute to 54 question, probably more. But not only that, now in our second prof classes, we have started with ENT and ophthalmology as well. So that my student should have an edge. My student should have an edge that he is actually doing 1/3 of his preparation in second year itself. Because I have added 2 high yield topics of ENT and ophtha in my second prof teaching itself. Now what will happen is, when you come to a DAMS classroom, when you go back to your home on the eMedicos app, you will get access to something called as DAMS video library. This is how the video library would look like, and it is actual lecture which has been recorded, and you will have topic wise lectures in your library where you can actually re-listen to something which you could not understand. You can actually access that topic. If you miss out on something in the class, you have a 800 odd topics video library with you in the DVL section. Not only that, you also have something which is very unique. Now today is the world where you need somebody to guide you how to read theory also, because we need to apply concepts in the exam. So you will be given a theory book with your material called as CRS, but this CRS will come with a talking companion. Okay, I'll show you how it feels like. This is how the CRS will be there, and there will be a video on each chapter where a teacher will be speaking and will be showing you the important tables, marking it for you, so that when you hear this with your headphones, you will have clarity on what to read in theory, and you will get that extra edge that other people would not have, because you are now learning by the teacher. So you have 2 kind of video accesses in your course. One video access which is textbook video access on the CRS, this we call as talking CRS, and one video access you will have which is the DAMS video library. This will help you to round up your course. You are attending a live lecture with the teacher, understanding in the class. 80% of the learning in the next pattern of exams will happen in classrooms. You have to be mindfully there in a classroom, interact with teachers, ask doubts, find out, and that is what happens in all the DAMS centers. So after that, you have such beautiful support systems with you like talking CRS and video library. Not only that, we have further improved our question bank. Now in DAMS question bank, you will see a new update saying clinical vignettes. Now with this advent of this clinical vignette kind of questions, image based questions, video based questions, what we are trying to do now is we are trying to add more and more integrated question also. So you will have in your question banks subject wise question banks, anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, medicine, surgery, but then you will have clinical vignettes which will have integrate multiple subjects for you. First episode of the clinical vignettes has already been loaded on your app, and we will be adding more and more clinical vignettes in this column soon. We will be adding some video based questions, some practical questions. A lot of things are being planned for you on the background. Okay, not only this, after you finish your question bank, after you finish your video lectures and your classes, you have understood everything by attending a real class with real people. Now you will have class test on your eMedicos app. This is how your class test platform will feel like, and so that you are not only studying, you are also testing yourself. This is the cycle of a second prof student that we now recommend. We have changed the subject order. We have added some subjects in your second prof in your pre-foundation course this year itself. We have added more and more features to the students, like a video library. We have added a feature like talking CRS. We have added a feature class test, question banks with clinical vignettes, and all this is included in your pre-foundation course when you join us for pre-foundation course. But do not forget, all this will start with your nodal point being the classroom. Do not ignore the classroom. Every year I see a lot of students who come back to me and telling me the impact their real live classroom made it for them. Now DAMS face-to-face and DAMS satellite classes are all live classes. These are all live classrooms where in the face-to-face version the teachers are going and teaching. In the satellite version it's a video conferencing, but this is all live happening all the time. So you have that opportunity to ask doubts. You have that classroom environment around you telling you to work harder all time. So that is the nodal point. That is the 80% contribution, and for the rest of the 20% you have a plethora of resources with you in a module called as eMedicos. Now this is what today we believe we are now offering. Not only are we offering you the live classes, we are offering you a video library on the app. CRS with talking CRS on the app, and DQB, which is coming to you in a very interactive format in the app, as well as you have modules like custom test, where you can, after you finish your question bank, you can actually create your own test. With all this put together, you also have printed books and everything with you, so that you have the comfort of utilizing things at your ease. I would like to wish you all the best, and these are the changes that we have incorporated for the second Prof students. Soon I'll make more videos about test and discussions and how to utilize them. And if you have any queries, you want to ask anything, you feel free to ask to us in the comment section. I wish you all the best.